Have you ever seen a food cart like the one shown here? Yeah? Well, perhaps you may have seen it in your neighborhood, in a park, outside of a sporting event, while you were tailgating, or even on a visit to a place like New York City. These fuel carts, like the one pictured here, are powered by a generator that's circled in that green box. And today in New York City, there's about 12,000 food street vendors, including 5,000 of these food carts. Typically, these are very noisy, very dirty, and emit a lot of greenhouse gases. In fact, one food cart with a generator is equivalent to 300 passenger vehicles per year in terms of greenhouse gas emissions. And that means that 60% of food trucks and carts in New York City are using these. And that is equivalent to 20 times more asthma-causing pollutants per unit of energy than New York City's own electric supply. Now, most food cart owners or operators, they might want to change to electric, but it's very difficult to do so. It's expensive. Now, the food cart scene in New York is diverse and delicious. You'll see things like halal, falafel, pizza, hot dogs, tacos, waffles, ice cream. I know, my mouth is watering too. Don't worry. However, when we think about these delicious food carts, how nutritious are they actually? Occasionally, you might see food carts like the one shown here that serve smoothies or juices. Rarely are you seeing ones that are fruit and veggie forward that are providing good foods, not only good for us, but good for the environment. And why don't these food carts offer these nutritious solutions? Well, because they're expensive. Those ingredients cost more than the unhealthy ones. They're delicate. They're hard to keep in these fragile environments if you don't have cooling. And finally, there's some weak demand. Most of the time when people visit places like New York City, they want to experience the local food. They want to have something yummy and delicious, which might not always be nutritious, unfortunately. And according to the CDC, just 1 in 10 adults in the US are meeting those federal fruit and veggie guidelines. That's shocking, but I guess not really that surprising. Other hurdles that we see in the food cart industry today really intersect with socioeconomic ones. When food cart owners are thinking about starting their own business, they need to develop a business plan. How do we go from 0 to 1 as a food cart operator? And in terms of recipes, how do they build out their menu? What should they use? What's going to resonate with people today? Also thinking about startup costs. How do I, as a small business owner, start a food cart business when I have no track record, no credit history for my business itself? How can I get going? Where's that money going to come from? Also, on the permitting side of things, how do I complete that process of permitting? And it may be a very lengthy one itself, but you have to do it. Operations, moving your cart from place to place. You can't keep it in most spots in New York City overnight, so you have to constantly be moving it from the commissary to a place in a different part of the city. And in terms of labor, how do you find these workers in a city that have the skills that you need to help work at your cart? And finally, technology is a challenge for these food cart operators because of the cost and because they haven't ever used it before. How do we make things like electric payments and reaching out via social media and other marketing? Another aspect of running a food cart is the unpredictability of people coming by and buying food. This brings up another challenge for the industry, food waste. And it's not one that's unique to food carts by any means. In the US alone, 133 billion pounds of edible food is wasted every single year. That's about 30 to 40% of our food supply. And that costs us as a community about 161 billion. Well, imagine a world where there are fully electric carts without the noise or emissions. Imagine that these food carts serve ready-to-eat fruits and veggies. They have fun, happy branding. They remove those barriers to entry as a business owner, and they can help change the world. This is where I'd like to introduce Rainbow Produce. Rainbow Produce is a company I co-founded with a colleague and friend. We incorporated a rainbow into our company because it's very relatable. It's very happy. It brings people hope. It connects people immediately, no matter where you're from or what language you speak. We also wanted to excite and encourage the next generation to eat sustainably and to expand their horizons and to literally eat the colors of the rainbow. Most people in the US, they eat bananas, strawberries, grapes, or apples. In fact, those are the top consumed fruits today. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of mangoes. I think they're a completely overlooked fruit, and it's one that I'd love to see more people eat. So our mission is three-pronged. We are convenient, nutritional, inclusive, and sustainable. Now, to create this menu of healthy food, we wanted fruit and veggie forward items. Think mango lemonade. Yes, that's no accident that there was mango lemonade on our menu. Fruity iced tea, fresh cut fruit, salad wraps, and on-the-go snacks like apples and peanut butter, carrots, and hummus. We wanted our cart to be inclusive. We wanted nutritional food to be available to all. To be inclusive and communicate with a person directly and quickly, we wanted our menu to be in English, Spanish, and in Chinese. And in fact, it is. And I've had a lot of people come up and order in all three languages, which has been an adventure in and of itself. On our menu, we wanted the person who is ordering to understand what they're eating, what are the calorie count and the fiber content. And that really resonates with people, feeling empowered that they know what they're eating. We are sustainable. To tackle sustainability, we operate from a food cart that is electric and battery powered. We partnered with a company called Zev that's local to New York that builds out these amazing lithium-powered food carts. And they built out an entire kitchen for us inside that holds a refrigerator, a freezer, prep space, space to wash our hands and prep food. And they operate and maintain these for us every day. And they're charged as frequently as they need to be, depending on the use of it and depending how long we're operating that given day. Obviously, it's weather dependent at this point. So another way that we're sustainable is through our packaging. We use compostable and plant-based packaging. And no, we don't serve straws. I've gotten a lot of pushback from that. I know you might be surprised or maybe not surprised. And third, we have a large emphasis on being zero waste. And this is one of my favorite products that we serve at our cart. When the fruit is about to go bad, we freeze it and keep it in a state where we can quickly blend it down, add apple juice, and create stripes of fruit, and we freeze it, and we create rainbow popsicles. Now, it's been really exciting to see children come to our cart with their mom or their parent and ask for a rainbow popsicle. They open it up, and they show it off to their parent. Look, Mom, a rainbow popsicle. Since June, we've operated daily in Hudson Yards in New York City, distributing healthy food to over 6,000 people. We've used the power of social media, including Instagram and TikTok, to bring education and awareness about the benefits of eating fruits and vegetables. We even gave out free watermelon to encourage and excite people in the areas they were passing by, and also to promote the idea of eating sustainably and nutritionally. We've worked with minority and women-owned brands to give them a platform and to sell from our cart to the people. This has given them a voice and a marketplace. We've also navigated our way through what New York City's food scene is very complex. We've made connections with folks like Happy Boards that operate from a food kitchen and help us with logistics and labor. Now, taking a step back, these challenges and this model is not just local to New York City. Food trucks are popular all over the US and the world. This is a market that needs to be disrupted worldwide. As I mentioned, there's about 5,000 food carts in New York City. There's about 35,000 food trucks in the US, and a lot more than that worldwide. And the economic value of these is great too. It's huge. The US market size is about 1.2 billion. In the world, about 4 billion. And by 2028, it's anticipated that this number will grow to about 6 billion. We are one thumbtack on this map in New York City, but we are part of a larger ecosystem. Imagine taking Rainbow Produce's model and deploying it to other cities, to other states, maybe even other countries and parts of the world. We want to be a roadmap and a catalyst for you. The pieces of the puzzle are all here. We figured out how to do it in New York City, and we want to empower other entrepreneurs and small businesses to do exactly this, to partner with other businesses, their governments, and the people. And it's up to you and us as a community to take action. Just as the cars in our world have gone electric, we too can have food carts go electric. New York City, they should ensure that food carts are all electric by a year, call it 2025. If New York City can do it, others will follow. Let's all be part of this movement. As we think about population growth and climate change, Rainbow Produce is just one model and one roadmap of how to get food distributed to people with less emissions. Now, a forward vision of ours is to figure out how to not only grow food, but connect it and distribute it using less emissions and less land. We know that we're going to have a big challenge ahead of us in 2050 to feed 10 billion people with less land and less emissions. We need to do this together, and we can. If we can't get to 2030, how can we even get to 2050? I'm going to leave you with this. Next time you look in the sky and you see a rainbow, it may seem like it's an arch, but actually rainbows are 360 degrees. They're full circles, circles of light and color. It's very symbolic that a rainbow is part of the global community, and that's who we are. We're part of this global community of people that are looking for ways to drive change together. So anyone listening to this talk, wherever you are, think of yourselves as agents for change. Spread this message of sustainability, inclusion, and nutrition. You too can harness this electric movement. Now, get in touch with your local governments and push for this change. These answers are not just somewhere over the rainbow, but they're actually here with us. Thank you.